What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going over the games I played last month in January 2024. I'm going to explain what the games are, how they play, give a quick impression on them, and my recommendation to you if you should give it a shot. Now let's get started with Spider-Man 2. Of course I had to give this a shot. I love the original. If you haven't played or heard of this game, you're Spider-Man and your job is to save New York City from whatever issue has befallen it. At this point I've finished the game and most of the things in the game that I could be bothered to complete, and well, it was good, but it wasn't great. And it's actually kind of hard to put my finger on what made it not as great as the first. Was it just that the first one was so surprising and cool that we finally got the open world Spider-Man game we've been waiting for since the PS2 days, or was Spider-Man 2 truly lacking in some department? I've stewed in these thoughts for a while, and I think that's really what it is. The first Spider-Man game was just new. It's like when you get a new phone. There's no awe anymore. There's no surprise. It's not really a crazy event. You know what to expect. You open it up and it's like, yep, here we are. Spider-Man and his girlfriend have issues and they'll probably work them out? Check. Spider-Man and Miles will have problems and they'll work them out? Check. Crazy rich corporation decides they want to take on New York? Check. What about an enemy from the comic books coming to say hello? Check. Okay. Is there an open world Ubisoft style collectibles and lore to be found? Of course there is. Check. I know this sounds like I hated Spider-Man 2 and I found it boring, but I did really like this game. And there's actually a large amount of memorable moments that had me play it all the way through. The intro, for instance, is probably one of the best ones. I think it's just tough to follow up a Marvel story with something that's truly out of the box and surprising. Not that it's impossible, and it is something that could have happened here, but it just didn't this time. That's not to say there's no improvement over the first one. Getting around the city is faster than it's ever been, and I'm not even just talking about fast travel. They added a bunch of little features that let you web around much quicker than before. You're essentially given a jetpack at the start of the game. And if you haven't seen my other videos, I'll tell you right now that I'm a stealth nerd, and my favorite gameplay sections of the whole game is Spider-Man stealthily taking out bad guys. Had me feeling like I was playing a better version of the Arkham series stealth mission. The fact that you can create a web line from almost any point is a huge improvement and opens up so many possibilities. My biggest disappointment, funny enough, was that they removed the map markers showing off New York City landmarks on the map, because I had such a good time exploring them and finding them in the first game. And it was kind of annoying this time around to have to Google where exactly a certain landmark was and try and find that in the game. If you played and enjoyed Spider-Man 1, then you pretty much know what you're going to get, and it's a recommendation from me. I even look forward to playing through the DLC. Am I going to buy and play through the eventual Spider-Man 3? Of course. I'm also going to buy a new phone one day. Next is the free DLC for God of War Ragnarok that came out of nowhere, Valhalla. Coming from someone who fell in love with the original Binding of Isaac, bought all the versions available, and still goes back every so often to see what's going on with it, you would think I adored the Valhalla DLC. And you'd be right, but not for the reasons you think. First off, Sony. I actually am really happy with the fact that you're going for roguelikes in your games as opposed to some other gaming trend like Battle Royales or something, and I can't wait to try out the Last of Us 2 version of this. What I really enjoyed about God of War Ragnarok's Valhalla DLC was the fact that it's more of a roguelite. It's a bit more simple than most roguelikes, and that's really what's so nice about it. It's not about delving in as deep as you can and memorizing rooms, mechanics, how two different things interact with each other, and the absolute best way to min-max your stats and the room bonus and all this extra stuff. It's simple. Play the game, think about your upgrades a little bit, and enjoy the battles. I haven't yet finished it, but the story so far is pretty great, and of course, I won't spoil anything, but it does continue the story of God of War Ragnarok quite well, even touching base with Kratos' expansive backstory. Basically, you start a run and you're given the choice of which of your 3 weapons from the main game you want to strengthen. Then, as is the rules of a roguelike, you go through randomized rooms fighting tougher and tougher enemies and usually becoming stronger and stronger thanks to random chests, shops, and other cool mechanics to keep your overall stats trending higher. Runs may get longer in the future, but where I am now, a run from the start till the end of the game can be completed in approximately 30 or so minutes. In my opinion, the ideal roguelike runtime. I'm excited to play more, although it is definitely getting a bit harder to actually finish the runs, and while I do think it deserves to be classified as a roguelite, it does get a lot more complex than you would initially assume. I fully intend to finish this game, and I will definitely touch upon my final thoughts in a later video on the channel. And finally, I played Teardown. I really wanted to like this game. And for a while, I really did. It's got all the things I normally enjoy in a game, and the gameplay loop is immensely satisfying. Teardown is a game about setting up the level by moving things, destroying things, and creating paths out of things so you can quickly complete the objectives the game requires of you and get out of the level before the time runs out. My favorite mission in the game was called Tool Up. Basically, the gameplay loop consists of running around the map, analyzing all the objectives and what way would be the quickest to get it done. This involves a huge amount of planning, painting the floor so you remember the path you said you'd take, setting up vehicles, setting up wood planks for you to climb on, all so you can rush around the map in the literal 1 minute they give you right at the end to get it all done. I ended up beating the mission with less than a second left, and it felt amazing. I really enjoyed the game for the first 10 or so levels. Then it seemed like the difficulty jumped majorly out of nowhere. What used to be the fun of trying to figure out the best way to do something just seemed to be me dreading having to build an entire path up a large wall just to get an objective done. I'm honestly kind of hoping I missed something, but I tried really hard to immerse myself into the game and read everything that was given to me, and I just couldn't get it. I'm thinking maybe I'll have to watch some other people playing through levels and steal some of their strategies. Honestly, I think Teardown has an amazing concept, but maybe it needed a bit more time in the oven, or some easier guidelines, or a more in-depth tutorial later on for players to understand how deep it's going to get before they just throw you down the hole and let you try and swim your way up. I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to give this game another chance, and I'm going to update you guys in the next Now Playing video I do. And that's it, folks. I only really played 3 games in January 24, and I actually did start the new Katamari game on Switch right at the end of the month. I love the first Katamari, so I'm hoping they kind of just did more of the same. I'd love to hear what you think of the new video format, and thanks for watching till the end.